Alright guys, welcome back. So today we're going to go ahead and show you the drip irrigation that we are using for all of our raised beds. So here's some of the parts we use. Before we do that, I'll show you what we're doing. So we have all along our garden this 1/2-inch poly tubing. So it's going to go around each bed and all the way around the garden. So what we did was we cut the tube in half, added this T, did another small piece of poly, and then added in this elbow. And then we actually drilled a hole through the metal up here and then connected it again to poly tubing on the other side. And then from there we attached 3 lines of the drip tape. We're going to do that for each bed. So the materials that we're using are, again, this 1/2-inch poly tube. I kind of made a template. So I have the long piece and then the short piece. But this 1/2-inch poly tubing, actually got it from Lowe's. It's left over from our old system in our old garden. But I'll leave links to everything below. So if you want to go ahead and check it out. Then again, this T and then the elbow. I need that. And then you'll need something at the end. We're just using these crimpers. They're a cheaper option to crimp the hose at the end. The tubing that we got here, the drip tape and the connectors, we got online from Irrigation King. Our actually drip tape has slits every 8 inches along the tape. And then, like I said, we're doing 3 lines in each bed, so we have 3 of these. And then to drill the hole, this is not for metal, but we found that it works. So we're using this to drill that hole into the side of the bed to feed the tubing through. Then obviously a pair of scissors. And one more tool that you need is actually, this is a punch tool. That's what you use to start the connectors for the drip tape into the poly tubing. This actually came with the original kit. It's not made for these, so the punch actually hole is smaller. So it's kind of we got to finagle them in there, but you can always get a punch tool that's actually made for these from Irrigation King. So alright, so we'll go ahead and set one up and show you how it all comes together. Alright guys, so we're going to start out first by drilling the hole for that tubing to go in. Perfect. And we'll go ahead and add in the connector hose. Then we're cutting the main line to go ahead and add that T, the connection T. And they're pretty easy. Just push the poly tubing over the fitting and then twist. Tighten the twist, and that actually helps secure it around the tube. Let's push it in.
Yes, that's all the way back.
And tighten the screw. I'll add the smaller line of the 1/2-inch poly, and go ahead and add the elbow. So it works the same way. You just push it down over the poly and then screw it tight, and push it into the line that's going to have the drip irrigation. Oh, we had a visitor. Hi, Lily. You coming to help? You coming to help us? Good job.
Good job.
And then once that's tight, we'll go ahead and lay it out, and we'll add in the drip irrigation. Alright, so now we're going to add the drip irrigation. So from the main line, what you're going to want to do is go ahead and kink off the end.
Slide that on.
Bend it and then push it back.
That's it.
And since these hoses are not straight, we sometimes just add a brick just to kind of make it straight. But then what you want to do is, so we're spacing ours pretty much about, we're starting them maybe 6 inches off the edge. Of course, it's not really straight. And then between the two, about a foot. So again, our beds are 4 feet wide by 8 feet long. So then you'll go ahead and use the punch tool to punch the hole wherever you want to start your connectors. Someone else came to visit. Hey.
What are you doing, Bailey?
Bailey. Hey, buddy. You helping in the garden too today? Say hi. Say hi, buddy. Okay. So.
It's good right here, right?
Yep, that's perfect. So it comes with this little puncture hole needle thingy mabobber. I've never used it, but he likes to use it, so.
I think that's how it works.
I've never used it, but it works.
Somewhere about right here.
Yep. And then go back, then we'll punch it with the larger hole. And then we'll go ahead and add the connectors.
All right, so when we push this in, this hose wants to collapse. So if you were to push, you can see it just pushes. But the hose collapses. And it doesn't really want to go in that easily, so I use this little clip. And I just put that around here, and that'll keep the hose from collapsing. And then now we can just push it in.
And again, you probably shouldn't have to do this if you had the correct size punch. But I opted not to buy the punch, thinking mine would work.
But it works well. And there it is.
Okay, so now we're going to take the drip irrigation and we'll roll it out, and you want to make sure that, whatever one you buy, but you want to make sure that the drip side is up, the ones that has the slits in it. So we'll go ahead and roll that out and connect it down to our connectors up here. Before you connect your tube to here, you want to make sure that the screw is all the way back to the start position. Otherwise you're not going to be able to get a good enough seal here when you push your poly tube over it. So if you take the poly tube, you want to it's kind of flat when you first get it. So you want to just kind of push it open. Again, making sure your strip where the irrigation slits are facing up, and then you'll go ahead and push it over this tube here.
And then I just spin it as I push, so it helps get over that spline. Might be a hard angle to see. But this hose wants to collapse as you push it, so it gets a little tricky, but it's not too bad.
And then once you have it on there, you just screw this blue piece, to screw it tight.
Yeah, there we go, that feels good.
And that
just screws in.
And then that should lock the hose in place. So.
Presses it down. Reach this way.
Okay, then once that's connected, what you'll do is go ahead and go all the way down the edge of the bed, or the side of the bed, sorry, to measure how long you want it. So, like I said, I don't want to go all the way to the edge. I'm not going to have to think it's all the way over here. So I try to find the very last slit, which looks like, oh, thanks, right here. But I don't really want to go that far, so I'll go about 4 inches up since they're 8 inches apart and cut right here in the middle. Cut it there, and then we'll go ahead and take the end connector, and it's the same process. You just kind of open the tube. You'll push it onto the connector, and then screw it tight. And then if you want to, it has this kind of little hook at the end, and you could take those stakes, oh, I can't even hold it, the metal stakes, and you could stake it down. I don't think we're really going to do that, so we'll go ahead and do 2 more rows, and then we'll turn it on and make sure everything's connected right. Alright guys, we're back out here the next day. We couldn't finish up because the storm came through, so wanted to go ahead and test out the bed that we ran the drip line for you yesterday. So coming over here to, here's our 1/2 inch pipe that goes around the garden, and then it connects to our garden hose. Then you have to have a filter attached to it, and usually if you buy a kit, it comes with a kit, or you could buy these kind of separate. This one came with a kit from Lowe's, but you could buy it separate at Lowe's. I'm sure you could buy it from an irrigation place as well. So go ahead and turn it on. It does take some minutes to come out, but should be seeing it shortly. Okay, we're gonna try that again this time with the water turned on. You helping again today, buddy? Yeah, it's a good boy. Okay, go ahead and turn it on. Lily's helping too today. All right, and it's working. Great. So we do have some of these connections at the very beginning that can leak a little bit. So we just kind of have to sometimes pull the tube back out, reset it, and tighten it again. It seems to be working. I mean, nothing's ever going to be perfect, but overall the system seems to be working really well. So we're going to go ahead and finish up. We have about 10 more beds, I think, to do. So that's going to be on our project for today with our 2 helpers. Seeing this chickies is why we have it all electrified, right? So we can still get grass and bugs. But we don't have to worry about the neighbor fox family. What do you think, Chick City? What do you think, Daisy? We finished almost all the beds. We ran out of a few supplies, and then this bed obviously still needs dirt, which hopefully we're going to order some more this week. So now is the final test to make sure nothing is leaking. Go ahead, you want to do the honors? Huh? I don't think so. It hasn't come all the way down here yet. Oh, here it comes. Alright guys, they're all working, which is great. A few of them, we just gotta tighten up the nozzles here. Like I said, if you don't really set it right and tighten it, they leak a little, but nothing that can't be fixed. So yep, we have one more bed left, which we need more dirt, and this is not filled up, but we got all the beds hooked up to the irrigation system. So pretty awesome. Took us a little while, even though we had a nice interruption by our neighborhood fox family, and then obviously the swarm, which is pretty exciting. So they are settling in nicely into that swarm box out there. So that will bring us up to 5 hives, which is great. We lost a few during the winter, which unfortunately seems to be the norm. So anyway, just about another week of hardening off our plants that are inside, and then we can actually get out to planting. So really excited. Been dreaming about this project for a while, so I'm so glad it's coming together. Next up we'll be adding in the arches, so for the trellising for the squash and cucumber, and so check back for that. Should hopefully have that up probably next week. So again, thanks again for watching. Hopefully this was helpful. If it does, or if it was, feel free to give it a thumbs up, and thanks again.